Check, check, check. Check it, check, check. All right, that's on. We'll turn on alerts. All right. Alrighty then. What's going on? Select stream. Yeah, get me in here. There we go. Oh, my lights are off. I knew I was forgetting something. I feel like I need a drink. It's been a long day.
New information. This severe thunderstorm warning has
How's
been
everyone going?
updated.
How's everyone doing? Welcome into my stream. Welcome. Or over 2,500 trees reported down. Sheesh. Sadie, what's going on? Can we get a Chicago view? One of these is probably on Chicago. Chicago's looking all right. Just some rain showers. A little bit worse down here to the south of Chicago. Peoria. Now, taking a look at our...
Attention, a new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
Taking a look at... Let's go down here. EF2, 125 mile per hour, up to EF2, 125 mile per hour. Storm is possible. You can see in this mesoscale discussion. This mesoscale discussion out here, we're talking about EF1 to 110. So the most significant tornado threat still out here in northeastern Kansas. So we definitely want to watch this closely. Still a tornado threat up here, though, in northern Missouri. And still a tornado threat up here in northeastern, central to northeastern Illinois, northwestern Indiana. Not much going on. Michigan's clearing up. We do have some storms pushing into northwestern PA, though. Out towards Erie. Not too bad. I think we're really we're watching northern Missouri. We're watching central Illinois to eastern Illinois, and then we're watching again northeastern Kansas. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? 1 second. I knew I was forgetting something. I need to go new window. Bring that bad boy over here. We're going to go like this. 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 Okay. Interesting. Take that I didn't chat. What are you talking about? Yeah, I did. I know. I mean, I missed a ton earlier. The ratio, tornadoes. I missed a ton. But you know what? I had a lot of work to do, unfortunately. So, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Put out a pretty detailed video this morning. I'm going to post another detailed video tomorrow morning. Here's my schedule tomorrow morning. I'm going to wake up at 4 a.m. I'm going to record, edit, post before 6. Then I'm going to go to the gym. Then I'm going to work all day. Then I'm going to come home and hopefully stream the severe weather event. I should be able to get off work early tomorrow. I had to work late today, though, and it was very difficult. I worked from home today, and on my third monitor was all the storms going on, and it was extremely hard for me not to just log out of work and hop on stream. The amount of discipline it takes is actually painful. All right, let's start talking about the severe weather. What's going on, guys? I want to start answering some questions. I'm going to start answering some questions, and I guess really quickly we'll just talk about what's going on. So here we go. We'll go to the MRMS. I know people on TikTok are going to see two of the same screen right now, but I'll fix that in a second. Strong storm still pushing through central to eastern Kansas, northern Missouri, central Illinois out through central Indiana. What's it going to look like for the rest of the night? Let's take a look. We're going to go to model. We'll just go to the latest HRRR, and we will go to the O1Z. Here we go. Nope, stop. There we go. So here's where we are right now, roughly. Let's push out to 11 p.m. Central. So this is about an hour and a half from now. Could see this line consolidate like this. Begin to consolidate. There you go. Then we get into midnight, 1 a.m. And the latest HRRR thinks we might get start to see this kind of MCS bow out a little bit. So we could get some strong straight line winds down near, pushing through Springfield, Champaign, and then into western Indiana. I could see, and actually, if you take a look at the live radar right now, I could see this kind of bow right here beginning to, this dissipating, and then this becoming our main feature right here, and kind of doing what this is showing, and kind of doing what our model's showing. Yeah, I can see that happening. Anyways, there we go. Then it pushes into Indiana, and it kind of dissipates. Nothing too severe as we get out towards 2, 3 a.m. But then, what is going on out here around 4, 5, 6 in the morning? Out near Omaha. Omaha, keep your alerts on. A little bit of a nocturnal threat out here, at least according to the latest HRRR. We had a crazy thunderstorm move over my house last night at 3 a.m. in Minneapolis. It was wild. Let me actually see something really quickly. Watch this. Let's go back 24 hours. Why don't we on the radar? Here's what the radar looked like 24 hours ago. That's what went over my house at 3 a.m. This bad boy. And oh boy, did I hear it. It was like rolling loud thunder for freaking anyone in Minneapolis here? Anyone in my chat in Minneapolis? Don't worry, I'm going to get to answer all your questions. Anyways, yeah, it was like rolling loud thunder for 20 minutes straight. It was awesome. And then we got hit again right behind it. It was really cool. But that's all the fun we had. Isn't it cool that we can look back 24 hours? Here's if you missed it today, here's what happened. Here's what developed a lot of our initial very strong storms. There was this almost derecho type event pushing through southern, and you can see that rotating surface low moving through southern Wisconsin. And then we started to get some tailing features down here that were producing some tornadoes, southern Iowa, northern Missouri, and now this is where we are right now. Tomorrow's going to get intense too, guys. Tomorrow's going to get very intense. Tomorrow's expected to be more intense than today. I wouldn't call today a bust, but I don't think it fully got to, you know, what it could have. It didn't fully show up, but it wasn't really a bust. We had some very damaging storms today. A decent amount of confirmed tornadoes. It was definitely an active day, not a bust, but it had the chance to do more, believe it or not. Here's tomorrow. Large categorical, obviously. Large 10% tornado threat. Chicago up to Milwaukee, over to Madison, over to Des Moines, down to Kirksville, Quincy, up to Peoria, Davenport. Huge wind, hail threat as well. So, and then, you know, have fun out there. People mid-Atlantic, New England are probably, East Coast are probably excited for this. You haven't had severe weather in a while. And then back out to the plains on Saturday. All right, I'm going to answer questions. What's going on, everyone? What's going on, mods? I've been good. Just working a lot. You know? So how's Knox, Indiana going to look tonight? Where is Knox, Indiana? You know what? I actually got to keep weatherwise. I'm going to keep weatherwise open so I can look at some of these locations. Even though I feel like I know where that is. Knox, Indiana. I've looked at a lot of these areas before. Knox, Indiana. Where are you guys? Northwestern Indiana? That's why I've seen it before. We get a lot of action up here. You guys should be fine. Some strong winds. I'd say a small chance of power outages because you could have some strong winds. But overall, you can see you're not really even in. I mean, are you in a... Yeah, you're right outside of the severe thunderstorm warning. You guys should be just fine. Just make sure your alerts are on tonight. But your phone... all phones are programmed to... I think it's Android and Apple's. If you get put in a destructive damage threat, severe thunderstorm, or a destructive tornado warning, your phone's blare even if your silence is on. So a lot of people don't know that, but that'll wake you up. But you guys should be fine up there. I'm not worried about any destructive or even really considerable damage threat thunderstorms up there. Knox. Cold front is near Eau Claire. You guys want to take a look at the obs? Let's take a look at what's the RTMA real-time mesoscale analysis. Here you go. Here's the winds right now. There's our cooler air moving in. If we take a look at the satellite, we should be able to see this much better. Let's go to. Let me see. How do I want to look at this? Maybe we can do shortwave. Okay, so our jet stream's doing a bunch of really weird things right now, and I'm going to try to follow it. Our jet stream's doing something like this. Let me see if I can get a better look at it. Here we go. Here's our jet diving in. Actually, our jet's kind of curving. Our jet's doing something like this, because this is why we have our short waves firing off. This is the cold air right here. Here's our jet stream. And then you're having these short waves eject out ahead of the jet stream. That's why we're getting a significant severe weather day. And you can see this low pressure's developing off of the jet stream as well. And then the jet comes back down like this. So a lot of warm air out ahead, a lot of cold air sinking in behind. It's actually a little bit further down now. Sinking in behind. Yeah, a lot of cold temperatures ahead. I don't know if you guys saw, but it's going to get cold. Oh, wow, they just updated this now. But the next few days, so there's the outlook, June 16th to June 20th. So, but if you look in the shorter term, check this out. We'll go and take a look at the Euro real quick. Surface, temperature anomalies. Why do I feel like this music's really loud today? Let's turn this down. I like just...
New information. This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
So, take a look at our temperature anomalies. Here's the latest Euro. Boom, there it is. 5 to 10 degrees below average as we get into tomorrow, Friday. Then we get into Saturday, Sunday. Look at that. We're 25 to 30 degrees below average over portions of Wyoming. We're 10 to 15 degrees below average in the southern plains. 5 to 10 out there in the Midwest. All right, we got to talk about this tornado warning. Look at this. Almost 20 degrees below average out the portions of Texas, Oklahoma.
New information. This special marine warning has been updated.
10 to 15 degrees below average potentially along the Appalachian Mountain Range. Lots of cool air coming in. All right, so we have obviously some updates. Let's take a look at the radar. Latest alerts. Tornado warning in McPherson. Let's make sure everyone's updated. Okay, so I see damaging wind here. I don't really see... Oh, I got to switch this back so we're not looking back 24 hours. That's not going to help us. Let's just go back an hour. There we go. Oh, so this could be... you could see that inflow there. This is moving very slowly too. Let's go to our CC drop. Not really a clear CC drop. Velocity, there's a couplet right there. Yep. If you're in Nickerson, and... God, that is not a fun word to say. And down towards... it doesn't roll off the tongue well. And then out towards Medora, Willbrook, Hutchinson, you should be taking shelter. Lowest level in your home. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Get away from windows. Get in a storm shelter. Or get in a basement. Yeah, I've said this city name live before, and you have to really pronunciate because it doesn't sound right if you don't pronunciate. Not good. Yeah, this could be on the ground. A lot of local rotation, violent winds. If this is definitely a funnel cloud, I think we could have a tornado on the ground. Violent winds if we don't. So Sterling, Nickerson, Willbrook, Hutchinson, Medora, Inman, Groveland. These areas out here, please take shelter. Let's take a look at what else is going on. All right. So those were just separate. Okay, they're all right here. Those are our 3 tornado warnings right here. Okay, got it. I want something just not the last week of June. I got camp. Hey, beggars can't be choosers, Sadie. I'm going to be out and about tomorrow. Do I have to be watching out for tornadoes? Maybe. Northwestern Illinois. That's what I was talking about. You guys want to see the latest for Northwestern Illinois? We don't have any damage destructive thunderstorm warnings, do we? Right now, I don't want to be. Okay, no. I think we're looking pretty good. No destructive severe thunderstorm warnings right now that I'm just not talking about. Well, 70 mile per hour considerable damage threat out here, pushing out towards Emporia, Cottonwood Falls, and Allen. So, all right, yeah, really quickly for tomorrow, we'll just to scare you, we'll start by taking a look at the Rufus, even though the Rufus is the least likely to happen. Don't worry, the Rufus over convex. We'll look at what craziness the Rufus has, and then we'll calm the expectations by going back and taking a look at the HRRR. All right, here's the Rufus for tomorrow. Let's push it in Thursday. Weird, like, I don't know what the Rufus is doing, but it wants a strong supercells firing off straight from Kearney out through Omaha through Des Moines tomorrow morning at like 5, 6, 7, 8. And then it wants it to bow and push out straight through straight line winds straight through eastern Iowa, southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois. So, but I don't know. I don't see it just a huge MCS firing off at 5 in the morning and developing. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what the HRRR. The HRRR doesn't see this as significant, but yeah, this could be around 11, 12 in the morning, Northwestern Illinois. Don't look exactly where this is. This is, trying to figure out what's going to happen in the future with our current data. But eastern Iowa, southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois. That's late afternoon, late morning into the early afternoon hours. And then you could see this here. 2, 3, 4 p.m., 5, 6, 7. Look at this. So, yeah. Afternoon, evening, crazy afternoon and evening threat potentially for this whole region out here. Especially this area. And really quickly, actually, let's do something other than look at reflectivity. Let's actually try to be smart here. Let's like fully break this down together really quickly. We'll do it on the Rufus first. Even though the Rufus can be crazy.
Attention, this flash flood warning has been updated.
Here, let's go upper air. We'll do 500. Then down here, we'll do Rufus. Do we have it on the 00Z? No, we're going to do 18Z. Here, we'll do 850. And then here, we'll take a look at the temperatures. 18Z. We'll take a look. Temperatures. There we go. And then here, we'll take a look at dew points. I'm going to turn off these sounds for a second. Okay, and then bottom right, we want to go Rufus 18Z, and we'll take a look at the dew points. Let's actually get into here. Let's get into it. All right, 1 second. Okay, here we go. Time to tap into the brain and figure out. Time to create our own forecast. Okay. So, let's link these all together. Map view. There we go. These all linked together. They're all linked together. Okay. Here we go. Here's tomorrow. So what are we seeing? Why are we seeing this craziness on the Rufus tomorrow? Well, upper level low. There's your jet stream. And well, upper level low here, and then here's your jet streak at the 500 millibar level. So lining up pretty well if the Rufus is correct. West-southwesterly flow into a pretty southerly flow here. Yeah, I mean, just based off of our shear, it would look pretty dangerous through eastern Nebraska, central to western Iowa as we get into 6 a.m. What's happening with our temperatures? Well, we would have forcing here as well. A little bit of a diffuse warm front, but if you take a look at the top right screen here, actually, let me do this. If you take a look at the top right screen here, there is... Ooh, hello. I should set it up so it looks better like that. Okay, anyways. Top right screen here. There's going to be forcing because we've got cooler air pushing into this warmer air. Here's our warm boundary. And so you're going to have some forcing with that shear out ahead here. And hey, look at that. A little bit of a dry line too. So almost like, let's see, do we do almost like a fake triple point up here. Some cold air. Some very moist air, right? Pumping up here. And some very dry air as well. So, almost like a triple point for not a true triple point, but late June triple point forming up here in eastern Nebraska and Iowa. So this is a very nice setup. And then you get another surface low forming up there out ahead. Another surface low here. And then as we get into around 12-1, oh my gosh, our 500 millibar jet is cranking. Holy smokes. 90 knots. Okay. Absolutely cranking. And you almost have a south-southeasterly flow at the 850, meaning the crosswinds here would just be crazy in eastern Iowa. Meaning maybe they upgrade that tornado threat even further from a 10%. If we have that much rotation. But we'll see. That's the area I would upgrade it right there. Well, where's our convergence? So let's take a look here. Yeah, it's really through here. Little bit of a diffuse dry line here. Dew points are pretty good. Again, the most significant. You can see your short waves on the Rufus developing right here. You've got the good 850 shear here. You've got the best dew points down here. So again, on the Rufus, maybe the strongest winds through this corridor. But we see a lot of rotation a little bit further off to the north. This area looks spicy tomorrow, guys. It looks very, very spicy. Let's push out a little bit further. This looks like unbelievable. Look at this. Just an absolutely insane around 7 p.m. 500 millibar jet. And there you go. Potentially straight line wind event out ahead of it. Tons of forcing. Here's the thing. These aren't really lining up for me though. Your 500 millibar jet's gonna help to organize storms. It's gonna be focused up here to the northwest. But you're gonna have a northwesterly flow. Your southwesterly flow is a little bit farther off. It's I don't know. The shortwave seems like it's ejecting a little bit ahead of our 500 millibar jet. We don't really have incredible moisture, incredible dews up there where that main jet is pumping. And that's the cold sector too, because you can see where our warm sector is down here. So depending on what happens with this, that could lessen the effects later in the evening tomorrow. I think earlier on in the evening, I'd say the most dangerous part of tomorrow to me looks like, at least according to the Rufus, 11 to like 4 up through this region here, because you kind of have your parameters set there. Your dew points are there. You have forcing off your warm front, and you have a good 850 jet and a good 500 jet. So I think like late morning through the early afternoon, this area is to watch, and we could have strong thunderstorms all the way out through the evening, but I still think earlier on. All right, really quick, we're gonna take a look at the HRRR, and then I'm gonna get back to the radar and I'm gonna answer everyone's questions. So looking at the HRRR 00Z. Oh wait, did it change all these that simply? Wow. Oh, this is so good. Okay, so now here's the HRRR, and actually we could have just compared models. So here's the HRRR, except for we need to go to, will it let me switch these all to 00Z? It did. Here's the HRRR tomorrow. Okay, so we'll let me switch between the Rufus. The Rufus is going to be back on the 00Z. Okay, we're just going to take a look at the HRRR. 00Z for all of these. Here's tomorrow morning. Nice jet. Pump it through Nebraska and Iowa. And then you're going to have probably some decent convergence. To me, it looks like down here, southern Iowa, with your 850 and 500 jet. And also, that's where you kind of have that diffuse dry line and some pretty good dew points as well. So this looks pretty interesting to me. Right through this region in the morning. And then as we get into around 1, we start to see this tilting. And this looks even better to me. potentially, tornado-wise, right through here at around 12:12. Yeah, I mean, the early afternoon looks extremely, extremely volatile through this region here. The early afternoon. Late morning through like 3 or 4 p.m. could be the time to watch right in here. Strong southerly flow into a good southwesterly flow at the 500 millibar. Really, really high dew points, and there's your warm boundary. So the timing is actually slightly better, I think, with the HRRR, even though it's not firing off as crazy as storms. All right. So, yeah, I'd watch eastern Iowa, southern Wisconsin, northwestern Illinois, late morning through the early afternoon hours. And the reflectivity for the HRRR tomorrow looks something like this. So it's actually keeping the stronger storms a little bit further to the south. I don't know if I'd fully agree with that. Higher dews, but... See, the HRRR is just showing a really, really weak... I mean, a decent MCS, but it's keeping it further south. I think it's going to end up being a little bit further up to the north. But we'll see. There we go. Let's get back to weather. Still got a tornado warning down here. Radar indicated headed towards Hutchinson, Kansas. Got some rotation in there. It looks like it's slowed down. Looks like this thing is crawling. Moving at 20 miles per hour southeast. All right, I'm looking back at chat. He circled me again. I circled you a lot. I'm sorry. The HRRR shows pretty weak event tomorrow through your region, though, luckily. But the Rufus doesn't. The HRRR shows like significant severe parameters up here, but it's. Here's my only concern. The HRRR shows a pretty weak MCS, shows a flop, shows a bust up here tomorrow. But I think the reason the HRRR shows this area busting tomorrow is because the dew points, it has like the highest dew points, 70 dew points capping out to the south here. The HRRR is known for underdewing dew points. That's the one thing it's known for, and that's the reason I think it's busting on the reflectivity. So if the HRRR is doing what it always does in underdoing dew points, and we end up getting those dew points a little bit further to the north, and it underdoes warm advection as well, a little bit warm advection further to the north, then this area is gonna activate like the Rufus things. Do you think Ottawa, Kansas will get it bad tonight? I'm nervous. Let's see. Where are you guys? You guys are right out here, right? There you are. You guys are just on the outskirts of this tornado watch. Not looking too bad right now. This storm should stay to your south. And if this storm stays to your south, this is following. You have to remember. Let me go to the MRMS. This whole line is going to begin to consolidate like this. Because we have a large upper level low, which you can't really see. Well, you can kind of see it. Let me zoom all the way out. Spinning right here. And this is kind of the tail end of it. It's going to begin to consolidate, and these storms are going to follow it out. So you're probably not going to get much behind this at this point. This is going to turn into like a long QLCS. So I think as long as this storm stays to your south, which it looks like it's gonna, you probably won't have to worry about anything else tonight. This is the one storm you're going to want to watch. Does the HRRR agree with me? The latest one? Let's see. Yeah, it thinks after that storm moves out, there's nothing else. You can see by 11, maybe a shower. Yeah, that's right. Warning Hutchinson got me sweating. Yeah, it's looking a little sloppy now, though. It's strong for sure, but it's getting a little sloppy. The rotation is broadening, but it could be trying to recycle and drop back down. You still see at the end of this, and I don't know if it's just radar distortion, but you still see a 100 mile per hour velocity reading, but it's a messy. No clear CC drop, so no clear debris field or anything, so it might not be on the ground. Everyone in Hutchinson, Willbrook, and Medora should treat it like it's on the ground, though, just in case. Nickerson as well. Ohio this week? Well, let's look tomorrow. Marginal. That's today. There you go. Marginal for most of Ohio. Tomorrow with a little bit of slight risk up in northwestern Ohio. Tornado risk is going to be northwestern Ohio. Most of the state tomorrow is just going to be have a chance, really, just for some wind. Hail tornado threat up into far northwestern Ohio. And then it kind of skips over you Friday, so not too bad. Do you guys have any excessive rainfall? Nope. Look, excessive rainfall is pretty much skipping over most of Ohio as well. Ohio's just... here's how the severe weather is going. Severe weather, and then it's going like this. Severe weather, Ohio's just skipping, and then the excessive rainfall is going like this, and then it's hopping around Ohio and going like this. Look. Well, at least central Ohio. Severe weather's kind of doing that too. That's funny. I mean, you got the marginal, but the slights, just look at that. They're dodging you. They want nothing to do with you. Except for northwestern Ohio. Is Minnesota going to get any more severe weather this week? Probably not. I mean, you know, I'm happy for everyone that we didn't get any crazy storms, but, you know.
A new considerable severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
I talked about it in my video today. I was getting hype, you know, just because I love severe weather. But then I talked about it in my video this morning. I said, most of the models were leaning towards that line of thunderstorms developing just off to our east, and that is exactly what happened today. Most of the severe weather fired off just to our east. So they got some good severe weather out here. Eau Claire up to Rice Lake, but down to La Crosse, but some good storms, but not Minneapolis. Seems to always just miss us. Although, like I said, we had some damaging thunderstorms move through last night around 2 to 4 a.m. No one was awake for it, though. So everyone's going to tell me I'm stupid and it never rained and no severe storms rolled to Minneapolis because it happened at 3 in the morning. But yeah, we're in a little bit of a drought. We're going to be in a little bit of a drought. I mean, look at this. We're going to get, let's just take a look. Let's go to GFS. Right? Here's today. These storms move out. Cold air moves in. This is going to be cold air. Cooler air, I should say. I mean, it's going to be freaking snowing down here in southern Edmonton. The GFS does want to bring in some storms through. What is the GFS doing here on Friday? I'll take a look at that. But it should be pretty dry and cool. So, what is the GFS doing there? Let me take a look at the Rufus. Yeah, I don't think we're going to have strong thunderstorms moving through. Okay, so the Rufus sees it like Friday night. This is going to be thunder showers. I don't think that's going to be severe.
Attention, a new considerable severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
Wait, what is... Look at the Rufus on Saturday. Holy smokes. What is this? Well, hey, if the Rufus is onto something, this risk zone is going to be expanded greatly. I hadn't looked out to Saturday yet. I just was, there's so much going on right now. I hadn't even looked out. Wow. All right. Saturday looks fun. Saturday looks very fun. Yeah, I hadn't paid attention. I haven't. I'll talk about Saturday probably in my video tomorrow. Yeah, I hadn't looked at that yet. Night Rain. Nothing too bad going on right now. Probably won't be on much longer. I really I want it so badly to stream this severe weather today. It just, you know, unfortunately. Not able to do this full time yet, so I got my job, but still wanted to hop on a little bit. I'll have another full video out tomorrow morning. At least I'm planning on. I've woken up early the last few days in a row. Hopefully I have a little bit more energy left in me. But my goal is to wake up and have a video posted early with all the updates, because I'll hopefully be able to hone down on where I think the most significant threat's going to be tomorrow. And then we'll talk about the Mid-Atlantic threat and that Saturday threat in my video tomorrow. Not too much going on right now. We are watching this storm right here that's moving very, very slowly. It does look like actually this is wrapping around again. I don't like the look at the reflectivity. Yeah, I don't like the look at the reflectivity. I don't like the look at this of the CC either. You get that little eye on the CC. Inflow. Forward flanking. Rear flanking. FFD, RFD. And obviously you got a little bit of a couplet here. So Hutchinson. Let me actually. Yeah, moving east at 10 miles per hour. Yeah, that seems more like it. I said it looked like this was moving very slowly. This thing is almost stalled out. You can see they actually took down the tornado watch to the north. I think these will drop off probably 45 minutes to an hour potentially if these storms can fall apart here. Probably over an hour. Let's take a look at this out here again. Do we have any tornado threat out here? A little bit of a couplet forming here. Don't love that. A little bit of a notch in here as well. So Emporia, make sure you're ready to take shelter if you need to. Just in case this does touch down. This better be at least a torpause warning. It's not torpause. 70 mile per hour, considerable damage threat. This should be torpause or tornado warned, probably. I mean, at least I would. For Emporia and Toledo, Kansas. So, but again, these are probably your two last cells you're going to have to deal with down here tonight. Once these move out, you should be pretty good. This is going to consolidate and head off to the east and begin to weaken. Yeah, Saturday. Yeah, Saturday looks crazy. So the Rufus sees out 84 hours, but I guess the MPAS sees out 84 hours. Should we see what the MPAS says? This is the NSSL-RN, but it's just call it the MPAS. No one needs to use all the letters. Okay, so here is. Okay, so see the MPAS. The MPAS sees a lot of strong supercells and MCS-like structures out here, but it doesn't put it in like kind of a linear mode. It has it as like 3 separate MCSs, but okay. The MPAS is seeing it as well. And then okay, let's take a look at the NAM. We're not going to get updraft helicity reflectivity, but we'll get this. There's the NAM developing some very significant features as well. And let's look at our supercell composites on the NAM. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. 30.0 supercell composite with an absolutely curved hodograph. PDS Tor hazard type. Tons of moisture near the surface. 6,000 joules per kilogram of surface cape. All right, I'm going to screenshot this. This is probably not going to happen, so don't freak out. This is still super far out, like 84 hours out, 84-hour out sounding. So don't worry, but this is the wild looking sounding. This would be worst case scenario for Topeka, Kansas City, Eastern Kansas. That sounding would be worst case scenario. Luckily, very unlikely to happen. We are 84 hours out on the NAM, but I can confirm the NAM does see a lot of spiciness out here, just like the MPAS and the Rufus does. Maybe more. maybe more. You'd hope for some capping. Was there any capping in there? That sounding I was just looking at? Let me see it. It was like right in here. Let me see if there was any capping. 6,000 service cape.
Attention. This flash flood warning
Hardly
has
any.
been updated.
Tiny little cap that would break in the afternoon. That's not enough. Not enough convective inhibition, sin, that would bust. But like I said, this exact scenario is almost 1,000% unlikely to play out because it's so far away from right now. That's crazy though. That's a crazy sounding. All right, I'll definitely talk about tomorrow, or Saturday in my video tomorrow. Hey, for anyone in my Discord, I'm going to post that sounding I just took a screenshot of. If you guys want to join the most awesomest weather Discord that there has ever been, you can go down and just click the link in the description of any of my YouTube videos and join my Discord for free. I pay for it. I pay a lot of money a month for it. You guys pay nothing. And every single day, you get hurricane updates, temperature updates,
Attention.
rainfall
This
updates,
flash flood warning
severe
has
weather
been
updates,
updated.
tornado updates, hail updates, high wind updates, extended severe weather outlooks, CSU, snow, wildfire, earthquakes, droughts, volcanoes, ENZO, MJO. Tornado warnings are linked to my Discord. Severe thunderstorm warnings are linked. Flood warnings, PDS alerts. As soon as they happen, they're in here. So just to prove it, the latest tornado warning, here it is. Data McPherson is here. You can actually ask it a question. You can get a summary, and then you can ask it the AI a question. Hey, is this tornado going to hit me? And it should answer you. Space weather, everything's in here. You can just add Connor's Climate Corner on Discord too, and then I'll just add you. I'll put you in here. I need to finish a ton of weather training videos, but I'll get to that eventually. But I'm gonna post that in Weather Talk. I'm gonna say the NAM just east of KC on Saturday. Yeah. Yep. We don't want that to happen. It's always Emporia. I feel like it is always Emporia. I feel like oh, look. They put the tornado warning down. Thank you. I feel like I just said that 4 seconds ago. There it is.
New
There's your couplet.
This special marine warning has been
There's your
updated.
couplet. I don't want to use this guy's thing on stream. I just want to look for a second and see if he has a view. Okay. You got to get permission. There's your
Attention.
couplet.
A new radar indicated tornado warning
Don't
has
have a
been
clear
issued.
CC drop, but clearly inflow. Clearly, there's your rotation. Yep, look at that. I mean, I'd be with this type of radar signature, I'd be shocked if it didn't touch down for a second at least. And velocity is very clear. You're seeing winds in here, 116 plus miles per hour. If that's not just debris on the radar, so dangerous. Emporia. Get in shelter. Get in a basement or storm shelter right now if you have one. This is moving very slow. You have time if you're in like the downtown, if you're in Emporia. Get away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible and get to the lowest level in your home. If you're very, very scared, you can also... And there may be no one in here from Emporia. I have like a total of like 36 viewers across platforms. But you got to say it all just in case someone is. There's been plenty of streams where people are in the path of these things, and people who are in the path of a tornado or in a severe thunderstorm warning, tornado warning are more likely to be watching. You can always get in a bathtub with a mattress over your head. That's the safest place to be if you don't have a basement or a storm shelter. If you're really worried. I don't like the look of that. I don't like the look of this either. Hutchinson, same thing. Take shelter. I'd like to get these out of here so we can drop these tornado watches and everyone can go to bed. Is it possible for this to reach Ottawa? Again, our tail end of our low is whipping out east. I don't see these storms pushing up east like this. If we actually go to wind direction, so let's take a look at observation,
New information.
real-time
This
mesoscale
severe
analysis,
thunderstorm warning has been
and let's just
updated.
look at like temperature and wind barbs. Okay, so here's our surface winds. I actually don't want that. Let's go to H. Let me see. Upper air. Let's take a look here. Okay. Here's your low. So you can see our winds coming in like this. Our surface winds are rotating up. Let's look at our 500 millibar. And so this is the flow that they're likely to follow. So our storms are right through here. So these are likely going to stay with our... The 850 is going to be... The 850 millibar, 925 millibar jet or shear is what helps to cause our rotation, violent rotation. This is what helps to steer and organize our storms. You can see the flow here. I mean, it's very unlikely that these storms are just going to jut up from heading east and head up to the north and start heading up to the north and east. Going back to the radar, it just doesn't make much sense. I would expect these to continue along this line, maybe even push a little bit further south, because even though the 500 millibar jet is flowing like this, it's a westerly wind. It's being again whipped around by this upper level low tail, so it's going to be moving like west southwest. These storms, which you can kind of see if you take a look at them, they're kind of moving like this. Ottawa's up here, right? You guys should be good. I'd pay attention if you're nervous. Keep your alerts on. Possible you get you get something firing up quickly in here, but I'm not overly concerned. I didn't get notified when I went live. Yeah, it's my fault. I should have put something in Discord. I was just so late because I had to work so much. Whoa, Miss Cantori, that's cool. That was a cool shot that Zach had. Look at that. That's awesome. Wow. I'm southwestern corner of Wisconsin. You need to be paying close attention to what happens tomorrow. And don't think it's a typical day where it's like, it's 4 p.m. We should start getting ready for potential severe weather. No, no, no. I'm nervous about this area from like 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. I mean, we could literally have a strong MCS potentially pushing out through this region here. Southwestern Wisconsin, eastern Iowa, northern Illinois, late morning, early afternoon. That's when we have that's when our 500 millibar, our short waves, our 850 jet are kind of in the right place. They're timed correctly. Our dew point should be in the right place. We should have a nice warm boundary in place here. So after that, things can get a little sloppy. Look at a lot of lightning. This thing is actually looking pretty impressive still. Do we really have no severe thunderstorm warnings down this entire line? Am I tripping? Chad, am I tripping, or do we have 0 severe thunderstorm warnings down this entire impressive line of thunderstorms? We're just rocking straight 60 decibels thunderstorms up into the upper atmosphere with velocities showing at 60 to 70 miles per hour, and we don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings. Am I crazy? Did I turn my alerts off? We have none. Okay. Whatever. Are any of you as surprised as me that we have no severe thunderstorm warnings out here along this entire line? This is starting to bow. They've got to put some wind severe thunderstorm warnings here. They've got it right here. If I'm putting warnings out, I'm putting them... I'm putting warnings out right here. Right in this sector. This one's falling apart. The northern sector doesn't look that impressive. They're about to line them up. This is starting to bow. I think we're gonna get severe thunderstorm warnings lined up right out here. What's going on, Leo? Springfield, Illinois situation tonight. Yeah, you're just outside of that tornado watch, but 60+ mile per hour winds. Look at that, 70% chance up here. I don't know where. Is something going on with the severe thunderstorm? No, weatherwise doesn't have them either. How is there no severe thunderstorm? Is anyone on X talking about this? How are there no severe thunderstorm warnings out here? Let's just take a look at velocity. They took down the mesoscale discussion too. This is a really messy velocity radar. Can I get something else? Let me go to storm relative velocity. Even in storm relative velocity, pushing 50 plus mile per hour winds up here, pushing through Peoria, and that accounts and that subtracts wind speed, the storm speed from the wind speed. So you could have severe gusts through this region. I don't know. You have gust fronts being pushed off this as well. I don't know why there's no warnings here. I'm actually not surprised. You're right. I should say that. Yeah. So Springfield, you should be good. You could get some very strong winds, I would say. I can't even tell you how fast this is moving because we have no severe thunderstorm warnings down, but I would say this is probably moving close to 40 miles per hour. So,
Attention, a new radar indicated tornado warning has
so
been issued.
let me try to do this for you. Let's do a wide cone spread. Let's
Attention, a
do.
new special weather statement has been issued.
How long will this take to get out to you? That's not what I wanted to do. Well, I think this is moving a little quicker. I'm going to say this is moving at 40 miles per hour. So Springfield, about an hour, 15 minutes until this thing crosses. Decatur, 2.5 hours potentially. 2 hours. So, yeah, it could have some damaging winds. So, I think you'll be all right, though, Springfield. This should be... it's entering a less favorable environment right now. So,
New information.
I'm not
This
worried about...
special marine
I'm not
warning
worried
has
about
been
this.
updated.
I think this line here could strengthen for a little bit, but I'm not worried about like a destructive damage threat or anything out ahead of this. You could maybe get some 60 to 70 mile per hour gusts isolated out ahead of here, and not seeing a significant amount of vorticity along this line. We are seeing again, like look at this, like decent bow echoes forming. So straight line wind, that's about it. But there should be severe. I think there should be severe thunderstorm warnings out for this straight line wind. Yeah. What do you think about spiciness for tomorrow? Let me go back to the HRRR's, I think, really underdoing tomorrow. Go back to this. We do get a nice, at least a long QLCS from northern Wisconsin all the way down through Oklahoma City. Do we have a tornado threat down in Oklahoma tomorrow? I think you could extend. I think you could extend a tornado threat down here like this, just because if we do get a QLCS like that, there's always going to be vorticity up and down that line. We may end up getting a 2%, maybe even a 5% extend it down into Oklahoma. Does the Rufus see that line extend it that far to the south? It does. So they agree now. This is the 000 of the Rufus. By the way, the 000 of the Rufus, there you go. 10:11 a.m. damaging wind event. Northwestern Illinois, southwestern Wisconsin, eastern Iowa. I'm telling you, early. And then I don't know if we'd have this just barrage of supercells after it because we wouldn't have really the warm air there, but here you go. Look at that. 8 p.m. You're not going to tell me that there's going to be no tornado threat down here, or not at least a 2% tornado threat through Oklahoma. HRRR and Rufus now agree, so there's some model consensus between the two. somebody that ends in a Y, there's always a non-zero risk. Is that how it works? Oh. Oh, I just get... They all end in Y. I see what you did there. True. The Rufus always creates, like, paints the most, like, the prettiest setups, but a lot of times they're unrealistic. Just like otherwise, and you're right about no severe warnings. I know, there's none. There's none. There's no severe warnings on this entire line. So, none. None. I mean, you can literally see this bow echo push forward and the surface low spinning there. You can see this line beginning to bow. So we likely have strong down. What causes a bow echo is you get some strong, extremely strong updrafts out ahead of the storm, which in turn causes extremely strong downdrafts behind the storm. And extremely strong updrafts, storm grows. Eventually, all that moisture has to fall towards the surface, and it forces cold air down, and that cold air hits the surface and then is pushed out ahead of the storm. And so that air pushing out ahead of the storm begins to bend your line. And so when you start to see a bend, a bow-like structure, typically means you have very strong updrafts and very strong downdrafts, causing a very strong straight line winds to be pushed out under your main line and sometimes slightly ahead of it. So, I don't know. There's a structure here for it, and you can see it on the velocity as well. But no severe warnings. Let me check back down here. I do got to get to bed because I got to wake up early to make these videos. This is falling apart a little bit over here. Probably recycling. Looks like it's going to stay just north of Hutchinson. Still stay in shelter. Medora. Bueller. Inman. Mountain Ridge. Heston. Stay aware of that. Let's go and take a look here. Emporia. It's sloppy. Looks like it's falling apart, luckily. Hopefully, it's definitely falling apart. Emporia, I'd stay in shelter for a little bit longer, but it's definitely falling apart. And you can tell it's still moving east. I still think this is the bulk of it's going to remain south of Ottawa. What's the end? Yeah, I don't know. This doesn't make any sense to me. This makes zero sense to me. And you have like a bow echo moving through a mesoscale discussing. You have a bow echo moving through a mesoscale discussion in a tornado watch, and there's nothing warned. So I don't know. Oh, whatever. What do I know? I'm just a guy in Minnesota on his computer. All right, I'm gonna go to bed so I can wake up in like 5 hours and make some stuff. Appreciate you guys all being in here. Thanks, Manders. Thanks, Jasmine. Appreciate you guys being in here. Appreciate follows. Appreciate any subs. Join the Discord if you want all the best weather news every single day. And yeah, check out the video tomorrow. Comment, say hi. And I should be back on streaming tomorrow as well. Love you all.